everyone, my name is Max, and today I'm here with my July wrap-up. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. I filmed my whole July wrap-up in August TBR, but then my laptop, which has nothing on it, freaked out about space and deleted the whole video. Yay. And also, I'm really sorry about the lighting. It's really bad. It's raining. Finally, I had a day to film, and it's thundering and raining, so if it starts thundering, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to keep doing it because I feel really awful that I haven't uploaded in forever. But let's get into it. I read 13 books this month, which I think is fantastic. I've had a mix of good and bad. Not really any bad. I technically DNF'd one book, but that was just because I wasn't really in the mood for it. Now, let's get into the video. These first 4 books I mentioned in my July TBR, and I gave a rating because I finished all of them. But I am going to restate them. The first one being The Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. This is about a girl whose dad finds out he has terminal cancer and he's going to die, and he wants to spend one more summer at his lake house. I wasn't a huge fan. I gave it 2.75 to 3 out of 5 stars. What I really didn't like about this book is that it's like her little sister's a brat, right? One of those stereotypes. And then also, she's a middle child and her older brother's great at academics. Her younger sister is great at athletics and she isn't good at anything. So wah, cry me a river, you know? That sort of stuff just drives me crazy. I hate that stuff. And her mom is kind of a bitch to her. And I'm just they are suffering this tragedy, or they're about to, and it's going to be really sad. And why are you throwing in this bad family dynamic when they all should be coming together in this time, but they're so separated? It kind of drove me crazy. Was not a fan of that. Wasn't a real fan of the main character. So I didn't really like it. Obviously, it didn't deter me that much because then I read The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This is about a girl named Andy who has a perfect summer planned. She has this great internship. She's going to do all this stuff with her summer. But then when her dad, who is a politician, is involved in a scandal, she is not allowed to come to the internship program. And so she becomes a dog walker. She meets this cute guy who's the owner of this guy right here. What's really fun. This one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. After reading 3 Morgan Matson books almost in a row, it's kind of funny. I can really tell that most of her main characters have the same character flaw. They don't trust. They're scared of trusting, you know? They run away when the going gets tough, and I find that that's the thing in a lot of her books, especially this one and Second Chance Summer, but I just thought that was funny. The next book I picked up was P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the second book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. This is about a girl named Lara Jean who writes letters to all the boys she has crushes on to get over them. She does not mail them out, but one day she comes home from school to find out that someone has mailed out all her letters. And so she has to deal with the repercussions. I love this trilogy. The second one was super cute. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Next book I picked up was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This is about a boy named Simon who has an email relationship with another boy. Neither of them are really out yet, but then another guy finds these emails and starts blackmailing him with them. I really enjoyed it. I really liked Simon. The problem I have with Becky Albertalli's books, I've read The Upside of Unrequited and Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda, is I like the characters, I like the plot, I don't like her writing at all. I don't know, I think it's very juvenile. I think it's a little too easy. So even though it's supposed to be a really quick book, it takes me a while because I just don't want to read it because I just don't like the writing. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, which isn't bad by any means. It's still really good because I really like the book and I would recommend it. I just don't like the writing. Then the next book I picked up was Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han, the third and final book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. This one I did like. I was wary because it was supposed to be a duology, but then she turned it into a trilogy. Honestly, I think it was so much better as a trilogy because the duology ended on not a cliffhanger, but not everything was totally resolved. So I really liked that she added this one. The problem that I have with this trilogy, the biggest problem I have is that the whole, all the climaxes, all the problems are her and her boyfriend breaking up. They have a fight and then they get back together and the book is done. That really annoyed me because it makes it seem like she has no problems in her life except for a boy. When, I mean, maybe at this time she does. And I mean, yes, I just feel like because all three of the books, the big problem is this big fight, just kind of annoys me. And I don't know, this one just didn't have as much happening in it, so I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I picked up was A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. This is about a boy who was fostered, or who had a foster family, or a brother, sorry. He had a foster brother. And then the brother is taken away by an uncle, and he hasn't seen him in years. And then high school comes around, and the foster brother is in 9th grade. He is in, I think, 12th grade, and they are reconnected. I loved this book. The biggest thing that worries me is that it says first-time novelist Robin Rowe relied on life experience when writing this novel, and this deals with abuse. And I'm like, is she the one who was abused, or is she the one who knew someone who was abused? Because what happened to the boy, one of the boys in this book, is so heartbreaking. And I'm like, if this actually happened to her, like, that would make me actually cry. I don't cry during many books. I've only really cried during Clockwork Princess, The Book Thief, and Strange the Dreamer. I don't really cry during books, but this one, I did the sniffles, you know, I was like, I didn't cry, but that was about it. But it was so heart-wrenching, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I finally picked up was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I enjoyed it. This is about a girl named Kath, who her and her twin sister are going off to college, and while Kath was expecting to this is about a girl named Kath where her and her twin are going off to college, and she expects to be roommates with her twin for them to still, you know, have this bond. But then her twin wants to venture off and make new friends, so Kath is kind of thrown into the deep end. I enjoyed it. The first 100 pages were pretty boring, but after that I got really into it. I really did not like her twin sister. I thought Ren was very selfish and very self-centered, and she was just kind of a bitch to Kath in a lot of different ways, and it just kind of made me really angry. And Kath just like totally forgives her, but I feel like they never have like a real conversation about what's going on and about the problems that they had, and that kind of annoyed me because I felt like that was really necessary for us as readers to enjoy, to like Ren at all. But other than that, I really liked it. I really liked the romance, except other than that, I liked it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This book I picked up was Hello, Goodbye, and Everything in Between by Jennifer E. Smith. Honestly, wasn't a fan, really. It's about this couple who come together the night before they're about to go off to college to decide whether or not to stay together. And it had a good premise. I feel like it would be very relatable, and I'm sure it is. I just found it really boring. Not a lot happens. I mean, it's only 245 pages, and I just felt like I would fly through it. I'd read it in a couple hours. It took me a couple days because I just didn't want to read it. I just found it so boring. I was just like, nothing's happening, like, you're not doing anything. It just, so I gave it 2.75 out of 5 stars. This is where I stopped reading The Truth About Forever and picked up The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book was amazing. This is about a boy named Monty, who he and his best friend are going on their gentleman's trip through Europe. This is what like 18-year-old guys did back in the 1800s, but then his little sister comes along for the ride because they're about to drop her off at finishing school. But then a whole bunch of stuff happens with highwaymen and pirates and all this awesome stuff, and it was just Monty. I freaking hated Monty at the beginning. Monty was a jerk at the beginning, and I was just like, I don't like you. I really hated him at the beginning, but his character development was spot on. He really grew as a person. I loved him. I loved this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Technically, Booktubeathon started. I was able to read 5 books. Well, I was able to finish 5 books, let's put it like that, because that whole week I was teaching a summer camp during the day and then working at night. So I was up at 6:30 in the morning until 11:30 at night just working. So I was barely able to read my 2 chapters of The Eye of the World, let alone read anything else or make videos. So Yeah, so I finished 5 books. I did not start these 5 books, I finished them. The first one I finished was Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. This is about a girl who buys her best friend a lottery ticket and he ends up winning, and all this stuff happens. I really liked it. I think this is probably my favorite Jennifer E. Smith book. I thought that it just flowed really well. I'm one of the ones like that likes the romance. I feel like a lot of people don't. I can see where they wouldn't like it, but I do think that the main guy character who wins, he goes through a lot of character development. He goes from being like this guy who doesn't have a lot of money to having a lot of money and just spending a lot of it to trying to make himself better. I really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And I guess if we went with Booktubeathon, this could go for the book that I bought because of the cover. The book I finished was The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This could go towards people on the cover because there's a lot of people on the cover. This is really hard to explain what this is about, but it's about this world where hundreds of years ago there was a fight between the Dark One and the dragon. And the dragon won, but now it is believed that when the dragon is reborn, the time of the Dark One will come as well. And so they are trying to find the dragon and all this good stuff. I really liked it. This is a book that I read 2 chapters a day to finish in a month. Yeah, I did enjoy it a lot, actually. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Emma by Jane Austen. I actually started listening to this on audiobook because this physical copy hadn't come yet. But I finished up the last 75 pages, I think, reading it. And this could go towards a character who's different from me because Emma is rich. She lives way in the olden times, all that good stuff. It is about a girl named Emma who is a matchmaker for her best friend, but after she leaves her best friend awry, stuff happens. I really liked the love interest. I was wanting her with this guy the whole time, but I didn't think that was gonna be the love interest. And then it was, and I was so happy, and I really did enjoy it. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I picked up could go for finishing a book outside, because I think the actual prompt was finish, not start. And this was The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Loved this book. Loved it so much. This is about it is 2 perspectives. One is a guy named Kelsier who is trying to overthrow the Dark Lord, and one is a girl named Vin who turns out is a Mistborn, means she can control these metals, and so can Kelsier. They are trying to take down the bad guy who is the ruler. It's kind of like the tagline is, what if the Dark Lord won? And friggin' loved it. I can't wait to continue the trilogy. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And then the last book I read in July was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Yes, I finally read it. Wasn't a huge fan. It took me a long time to read. It took me like 2 hours for every 100 pages, where usually I can read about 100 pages an hour. This also follows 2 perspectives about a guy named Kel who can travel between these different Londons, and then a girl named who wants to be a pirate. It was good. I liked the writing. I liked the characters. It just took me a while to get through. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars in the end because I did enjoy it. I just don't love it as much as everyone else. Right, everyone, that is my July wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time with my August TBR. Bye!